Shalom, giving all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ruchakodash, double honors unto the elders and apostles of Great Millstone at Rulewell, and Shalom to the 144,000 elect men of the nation of Israel and the rest of the elect destined to be saved. I'm the brother Caleb from the GMS England London Forecasters Camp, coming back with you with another quick lesson to help edify the Lord's elect. I like to start as always by saying we are the real Hebrew Israelites, and the real Israelites are you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Hispanics, Native Americans, West Indians, and West Africans predominantly, but you will find Israelites that do look like the other nations because we have been scattered among all the people throughout our various captivities. But if a seed line by your forefathers goes back to the man in the Bible named Israel, then you too are an Israelite no matter what you look like, because Numbers 1 and 18 tells you that your nationality is determined by the lineage of your forefathers. So this is just a very quick hit lesson, short to the point, but Lord willing is edifying, because over here in the UK, the date is currently November the 10th, and usually around the 11th of November, or the Sunday following the 11th of November, over here in the UK, they often hold this thing which is called Remembrance Sunday, where you're supposed to sort of keep a minute's silence or whatever for all the people who died in what they call the Great Wars, like World War One and really World War Two. And when I was a child at primary school, they'd have us sitting there singing songs, and they'd always say, "Oh, you're gonna buy poppy for Poppy Day," because they call it Poppy Day, because over here in the UK they symbolize the wearing of a poppy flower or whatever as a means of paying your respects to the so-called fallen war heroes, right? So it's very much hypocrisy, because Esau will want you to commemorate and remember his people that died in the war, but when you want to bring up slavery, nobody want to talk about it. When you want to bring up the transatlantic slave trade and all our people that died, nobody want to talk about it. But yet he always wants you to remember his so-called fallen war heroes, which is bullshit anyway, because there's a saying, and the saying is that all wars are bankers' wars, right? So all these people that go off to fight in these wars, really they're just doing the will of the elites, and the will of the elites is to kill you people, man. So basically all these wars they're nothing but huge blood sacrifices done for the elites, because what is the ultimate agenda of the elites? To rule this world with as few people left on it as possible. Now we know that they do left-hand side witchcraft and demonic magic, so a lot of these events are orchestrated by the elites because they want you and your offspring dead or in perpetual slavery underneath them. Now I'm going to show something here in a moment, but first of all let me read this little bit from the Independent, because I was just reading this article and this is what triggered me to throw the camera on and do this little lesson. It says from the Independent, I can only read a portion of this article because they've got some stupid bullshit where you have to pay, but it gets the gist of what I'm trying to say. It says, Independent Politics Explained. Are pro-Palestinian protests likely to cause trouble on Remembrance Sunday? So essentially, what these Edomites are saying is that they don't want no Palestinians overshadowing their so-called Remembrance Sunday day. Now, if this was a so-called balanced and fair society, would it not be fair for the Palestinians to protest the fact that their people are dying too on so-called Remembrance Sunday, when we're supposed to remember people who have died in the so-called Great Wars? See, Esau don't give a fuck about any of the other nations and what they've been through. And ultimately, as an Israelite, I don't really give a shit either about what the Palestinians are going through. But I'm just using this as an example to show the hypocrisy of Esau, because for the longest time, Jacob been crying about reparations for this and that's happened to us at the hands of our enemies. But at the end of the day, we don't want Esau's fucking FRNs, which is federal acronym for Federal Reserve Notes. We don't want Esau's monetary reparations. We want reparations in terms of these Edomites going into captivity for what they've done unto us and these other nations, which will be brought into effect when Yahushua returns. So on this side, You can't go to the devil and expect justice from him. So we already know who our enemy is, but I'm just using this to show the point that Esau is a damn devil. Now it says, are pro-Palestinian protests likely to cause trouble on Remembrance Sunday? Rishi Sunak, who is the Prime Minister in the UK at the moment, and ministers have spoken out about demonstrations taking place in London over the war in Gaza this weekend. Sean O'Grady asks how it is likely that things could get out of hand and what powers the police have to prevent disorder while events like this take place. See, these Edomites don't give a shit, man. And you can see it's the Edomite who's come up with this article. Look at him. Proud fucking devil. This is a descendant of Esau right there. You can see he's not white because the rest of the background is white. His skin is red because his blood shows fall through his skin. That's why Esau, the name for his nation is Edom, which means red. Now, it says the marches have proved increasingly controversial and have become even more sensitive as Remembrance Sunday approaches. I can't read any more of this article because they've got it under a fucking £20 for 1 year paywall, which I'm not prepared to pay. So fuck that. But it gets the gist of the point that Esau is an unrighteous devil. Now, can I see the comments? No, it won't let me see the comments either. So fuck them. Now, a lot of these Edomites are proud. Like you might know, well, I know Edomites, or I knew Edomites in the world, where they'd say, "Oh yeah, my granddad was in the war," or "Yeah, my uncle's in the war," all this kind of shit, right? Well, and they're proud about it, like they done some great things. Well, World War II ain't nothing but a huge worldwide blood sacrifice, and World War III ain't gonna be no different, right? And World War III is heating up because we're seeing what the Most High's plans are for these nations, pertaining to Joel, the 3rd chapter. I believe it's Joel chapter 3. Let me read that first, and then I'll illustrate my point. Joel 3, I think it is. Joel 3, starting from verse 1. For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem. See, a lot of what's taking place on the earth is because of the controversy of what's taken place to Judah and Jerusalem, which represents Israel as a whole. Judah representing the southern kingdom, which would be Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, and Jerusalem representing Israel, which would be the other tribes: Ephraim, Manasseh, Gad, Reuben, Naphtali, Issachar, Reuben, Simeon. Did I say no? I didn't say Levi, but Levi was among the southern kingdom and northern kingdom. But you know what I mean. Forgive me if I missed any out. But that would be the other tribes, other 10 tribes. Where was I with this? So Joel 3 verse 1. For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat. Well, it says Jehoshaphat, which is really in Hebrew Yehoshaphat, which means Yahweh's judgment, and will plead, meaning he will judge with them there for my people, who are the Lord's people, the Israelites. Deuteronomy 7 and verse 6 proves that. And for my heritage Israel, for whom they have scattered among the nations. I mentioned that in the beginning in my intro, Numbers 1 and 18. Your nationality is determined by the lineage of your forefathers, but we've been scattered among the nations, right? And they have parted my land, and they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for a harlot, and sold a girl for wine that they may drink. Yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, and all the coasts of Palestine? Will you render me a recompense? And if you will recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head? Because ye have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried into your temples my goodly, pleasant things. The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem ye have sold unto the Grecians, that ye might remove them far from their border. Behold, I will raise them out of the place whither ye have sold them, and will return your recompense upon your own head. And I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hands of the children of Judah, and they shall sell them to the Sabeans, and to a people far off, for Yahweh have spoken it. There you go. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears, let the weak say, I am strong. So we're seeing all of this now, where you've got these weaker nations starting to rise up and say that they are now strong, because now a lot of these weaker nations also possess nuclear technology, which at one time was the sole possession of the Edomites in America. That's why America, Babylon the Great, was able to basically bully all these other nations. It says, assemble yourselves, and come all ye heathen, gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Yahweh. Let the heathen be wakened, and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, for there I will sit to judge all the heathen round about. So that's what we're seeing being manifested on the earth right now, and it's all pertaining to the words of prophecy, because these are the words of the Most High, and his word doesn't go void, but it accomplishes the thing whereunto he sent it. Right? It says, put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come ye down, for the press is full. The fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. Multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of Yahweh is near in the valley of decision. The sun and the moon shall be darkened, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. Talking about when the nukes fly, because they're going to blot out the sky. It says, Yahweh shall roar out of Zion, and utter his voice from Jerusalem, and the heavens and the earth shall shake, and Yahweh will be the hope of his people, and the strength of the children of Israel. So ye shall know that I am Yahweh your God, dwelling in Zion, my holy mountain. Then shall Jerusalem be holy, and there shall no strangers pass through her anymore. Because right now what you've got is this conflict between the Edomites, which is chiefly the house of Amalek, that is so-called Israelis, against the Palestinians, which are I believe Ishmaelites, fighting for our land, which isn't theirs. That land was Jerusalem is a people before it's a place. So the Most High's intention is to wipe the heathen out of the land, because one of the prophecies was that a bastard shall dwell in Ashdod. So them small hat people being in that land is a fulfillment of prophecy. Now I'm going to stop this precept that I was reading here, because I've covered the point on that, but I want to go back to make another point, because Esau's a hypocrite. He doesn't want anybody else to their losses, their casualties of war to be remembered, but yet he wants everybody remembering his. Right? Now I want to show you that a lot of these wars are blood sacrifices, because Esau's all about his witchcraft and stuff, and he often does things on certain days or on certain numbered days. There's certain key events that happen. One key event that happened during World War II was the D-Day invasion, which was when the so-called Allies invaded the beaches of Normandy. A lot of people died on that day, but here in the UK, they make a big deal about, D-Day, Remembrance Sunday, all this kind of rubbish, right? I want to show you something here. All right, I done the sum on this. Let me get this. So let me get it on here first. So what day was D-Day on? I believe it was the 6th of June 1944. Let me get it. D-Day invasion date. Yeah, there you go. Normandy landings. Now, essentially, this was just nothing but a massive blood sacrifice in which the so-called Allies, as I said, UK, France, I believe it was America as well, they sent a lot of men to invade the beaches of Normandy, and a lot of people just got slaughtered on that day because the Germans had heavily fortified that beach. Now, so-called war historians would say, or these Edomites, they'll say, oh, well, the Battle of Normandy didn't win the war, but it was pivotal in turning the tide in the war. Now, basically, all they done was sent people into the meat grinder to be destroyed. Now, that was the intention of the elite banking families. A lot of young men were in the army, signed up, or were what they call it, conscripted, to go over there and to be just a blood sacrifice, right? Now, to prove it was nothing but a blood sacrifice, Esau tends to use the numbers 6 a lot, or 666. That tends to crop up a lot in Esau's witchcraft, right? So we're going to show you how 666 comes into this date here, 6th of June 1944. So if we take the day, you've got 1 6 there, right? So we'll count that as 1 6. What number month is June? You've got January, February, March, April, May, June. June is the 6th month. So you've got 2 6s there, right? Now the year date being 1944. How do you get a 6 out of 1944? I'll show you. So if we get a calculator here, if you take 1 and you add 9 to 1 equals 10. So that's 1 9. So you got 10. If you add 4 to 10, you get 14 plus 4. Yeah. And if you add another 4 to 14, you get 18. There you go. Now, if you add the 1 and the 8, what do you get? 9. So let's do that. 1 plus 8 equals 9. So I haven't done that wrong. 1 plus 8 equals 9. So the numbers we're left with now would be 669, right? All you got to do is invert the 9, and what number do you get? If you turn the 9 upside down, you get another 6. You got 666 there. So this D-Day invasion, Normandy landings, 6th of June 1944. The date, the numerology of the date breaks down to 666. So what more proof do you need that that was nothing but a massive blood sacrifice, man? And here is Esau's got you fucking running around wearing poppies and, yeah, you know, we got to remember Remembrance Sunday and all this kind of crap, when there's nothing but a huge blood sacrifice for these elite banking families. Now they're setting up the stage for the same thing again, because as we can see, the tensions are beginning to rise with this Israel-Palestine thing, which is going to end up leading all these nations into another world war, which would be the third woe. Now, ultimately, it's the Most High who's controlling the minds of these men to make them do these things. But the point is that we're not ignorant of Satan's devices. And let me get that one in the scriptures. For we are not ignorant of Satan's devices. Bear me while I look it up. I believe it's in Peter, isn't it? Let me see. Well, there is actually another one here. But the one I want is in Peter 3 and verse 8. But before... No, that's not the one. No, that's not the one. 2 Corinthians 2 and 11. That's the one. But I'll come back there. No, actually, let me go there first. Do all things decently and in order. 2 Corinthians 2 and verse 11. This is it. 2 Corinthians 2 and 11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. I'll read that again. See, this is the importance of being up on game when it comes to matters like this, because a lot of people will get in their emotions and will just want to follow a multitude because the multitude's doing it. Like when I was at primary school, you're gonna buy a poppy, you're gonna wear a poppy for Remembrance Sunday, and here I am, a young child, 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. At first I'm thinking, oh well, it's just something people do. Then I started to question it, thinking, hang on a minute, this don't seem right. Why they pressuring us to wear a fucking poppy? Oh, and if you don't wear a poppy, you're disrespecting our fallen war heroes, all this kind of stuff. Because a lot of these Edomites are fucking proud, man. God forbid you say anything bad about their fallen war heroes and Remembrance Sunday. But you want to, if you bring up the transatlantic slave trade, these Edomites want to act like they're deaf all of a sudden. All that, no, you can't bring that up. Oh, but that was in the past. Oh, but that wasn't me. Oh, you need to let that go. You're walking around with a chip on your shoulder. Yeah, but every fucking year you're trying to get us to give reverence to your fallen so-called ancestors or whatever. Now, fuck you, Esau, man. Fuck you and your Remembrance Sunday, and fuck you and your future generations that are going to end up going into this massive meat grinder at the behest of the elite banking families, man, because you're too fucking stupid to realize what's really going on in the world, because you want to act like, oh yeah, well, we won the Great War, and yeah, you know, we have such brave, you know, war heroes and stuff. If you was to go and interview those guys who are lying on that beach, blown to pieces, right? You can see a good example of that in the beginning of the film Saving Private Ryan by Steven Spielberg. You know, guys lying on the beach with their bodies here and their legs flipping 2 meters away. You know, guys getting shot in the head as soon as they get off the boat, or they're drowning because they were given too heavy equipment, which wasn't practical for the situation. So as soon as they got off the boat, they were drowning because, you know, they couldn't swim with the heavy equipment they were given. Guys that were very poorly trained, by the way. A lot of the guys who were in that situation had never been into conflict before. So they were literally sent into the meat grinder just to get destroyed. And it's going to be the same thing in this generation, because this is the intention of the Most High ultimately. But he's working through the minds of the rulers of this earth. And who's primarily in control at this moment? Esau, Edom. And Esau is a man that loves blood and loves to shed blood. And he uses these blood sacrifices to further these blood sacrifices to further his agendas, because, you know, there's power in blood, both in the left hand and on the right. But that's, you know, going into deeper into the realms of you know, satanic witchcraft and stuff. But Esau is very much into that. So there's another precept I could bring out here, which is in the book of Sirach, which is about not being ignorant in any matter, be it small or great. Where is that? I was looking for a minute ago. Sirach 5:15. Let's read that one. Sirach 5:15. Sirach 5:15 says, be not ignorant of anything in a great matter or a small. So I've done exposed to you that Esau's a hypocrite, and that a lot of these wars are nothing but bankers' wars, and ultimately their blood sacrifices to basically, it's an excuse for Esau to cull off a lot of the population, man. You know, you want to get rid of a lot of people, make them go to war with each other, and they'll wipe themselves out. Basically, everything Esau promotes to you in a society is about death and about destruction. Either the destruction of you as an individual, or the destruction of you and your family and your community. And what happens when your family and community is destroyed? That then ends up destroying nations. He destroys the women by giving them overmuch liberty. He destroys the men by trying to turn them into homosexuals, which then destroys the next generation, because if men are with men and women with women, where are the children going to come from? And then when the children do come out, if they do make it onto the earth, Esau then tries to destroy them with the public school system, teaching them about LGBTQ history and LGBTQ values, in order to train them up so that in their maturity, they're going to be bugged out and they're going to destroy the next generation. So Esau is all about promoting death. And I'm going to end this one with Micah 2:10, because Jake shouldn't be fucking caught up in this whole, oh, buy a poppy for November the 11th and Remembrance Sunday and holding a minute's silence and shit. No, man, fuck that, right? Fuck that. Micah 2:10. This is for Jake, you know. These messages are really for the elect. So this is the mindset we should be in. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you, even with a sore destruction. So that's the mindset us Israelites are supposed to be in. We're supposed to not be caught up in the ways of this world. We're supposed to have our sights set on the return of our Lord and Savior Yahweh Shai, who will then set us up in our kingdom, which will be a kingdom wherein dwelleth righteousness. So fuck Esau, fuck his wars, and fuck his Remembrance Sunday, and fuck his poppies and all that other bullshit. So with that, giving all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Wakakodash, double honors unto the elders and apostles of Great Millstone that rule well. Shalom to, once again, to the 144,000 elect men of the nation of Israel and the rest of the elect destined to be saved. I'm out for this one. I'll catch you on the next one, Lord willing. Shalom for now. And Kwame Shawala. Shalom.